Hey YouTube, today we're going to discuss why you would want to choose the TurboLister software as a means to get your items listed to eBay. The first thing you want to know about TurboLister is that it's solely meant for the PC Windows platform. You can't load it to your tablet, you cannot use the program on a Macintosh computer. The only way you could run it on a Mac is if you're running a virtual machine and you have the Windows platform on that virtual PC. But otherwise, just for PC platforms, just for Windows. So that's the main thing that you want to keep in mind. Now, some of the main reasons that members love the TurboLister software is that it can save your inventory indefinitely. That's this section up here. When you're working directly from the eBay website, your items will only stay on the eBay servers for 90 days. That means if you have an item and it goes to your unsold folder, let's say, and you take a vacation or you're hospitalized or for whatever reason and you can't list it again and it's more than 90 days, you're going to have to recreate that item. So any of that hard work that you put into creating it, you're going to have to do again. With TurboLister, when you host your inventory in TurboLister, in the inventory area, that information is just there until or unless you delete it. So, you come back 6 months from now, or say that you're a seasonal seller and you only want to list your bikinis during a certain point of the year, and the next year you want to do it again. You can come back to your TurboLister inventory, select the items that you want to upload, add to upload, and send them on their way. That's it. That's all it takes. You don't have to recreate anything. So that is a huge bonus to a lot of people. Another reason that members like the TurboLister software is that it's an offline listing tool. You don't have to be connected to the internet to create these listings. You could, put a movie on, create a bunch of listings, save them to your inventory, and then maybe you want to wait until eBay has a promotion going on. And then again, you just highlight your items, add to upload, send them on their way. A benefit of TurboLister is you can set up templates. You can see there's a little templates folder up here. We don't have one in here yet, but basically with templates, you can create a template. If you use a lot of the same information over and over again, you're going to want to create a template. Now, your template should be kind of a mix between generic and specialized. So, if your PayPal address is the same, your shipping is the same, maybe you like to have the same category, you're going to go ahead and create a template, because you can do item from template, and then all that information is just going to be there for you automatically. So that's a really quick and easy way to create items in bulk. So templates are definitely a benefit of TurboLister. Another benefit of TurboLister is that it's, for the most part, it's got a really easy to understand format. You go to create an item, it's very similar to the eBay website. You can see you've got title, subtitle, category. Everything is laid out for you in a very easy to understand manner. Now, some of the cons of the TurboLister program, as I mentioned earlier, you can't use it on a tablet, Android platform. You can't use it on a Mac computer. One of the main issues that members have with TurboLister is that it's somewhat prone to corruption of its databases. That doesn't mean it's going to mess up your computer itself. That just means that you leave TurboLister on overnight and your Windows forces an update, and so your TurboLister has to close in an unusual manner. That can cause corruptions within the TurboLister database. So maybe you come one day, you log into TurboLister, and you're not going to have any items in your inventory. That can and does happen with TurboLister. That's actually one of the reasons why it's very important to create backup files for your TurboLister, and we will go into that on a later video. TurboLister is not for large volume sellers, so generally if you have 2,000 items or less, TurboLister can work for you. If you have more than 2,000 items, you're going to want to either look for a third-party platform such as Octiva, InkFrog, 6-Bit, Channel Advisor, or the eBay File Exchange is a great option for volume listing. But TurboLister is really meant for new or low volume users. The more items that you keep within your TurboLister program, the slower it's going to become. And that leads me to another point. TurboLister, despite its name, is not very turbo. It's not the fastest tool that's out there. So you're going to want to keep in mind that when you're listing items with TurboLister, it can take several minutes to upload each item to TurboLister. So if you're trying to upload hundreds of items, that very well could take several hours to do. Another thing with TurboLister is it easily gets overwhelmed. So speaking of uploading items from TurboLister to eBay, you really don't want to do large volumes. I would say when I do it, I typically do, upwards of maybe 50 items at a time, if that. If you do, several hundred items at a time, your system may crash on you. It may just get overwhelmed and crash. So that is an issue with TurboLister, is that it is easily overwhelmed. That being said, TurboLister is a free software, which is a huge benefit to a lot of members, especially if maybe you are a fair weather seller, you're not selling enough to really make it worth your while to pay for a monthly subscription to something. TurboLister can be a really good tool for you. Another reason that TurboLister is great is that you can actually, if you have multiple accounts on eBay, you can export your information from one TurboLister account. You go up to export your items. You choose a way that you want to export your listings. It gives you multiple options, and we'll get into this in a different video as well. But you could export it and then toggle over to your other eBay account and import them into that secondary account and then upload them again to eBay. So that way you're really not having to duplicate efforts and recreate a lot of your content back and forth. You may have to change some things such as store categories, things like that. But for the most part, your information is exactly the same. It really cuts down on the time spent creating those items. So if you're looking for an affordable listing tool, do check out TurboLister. It's a great little piece of software. Again, you can create your items ahead of time, push them whenever you want to. They'll remain in your inventory section. It's an amazing tool that everyone should check out. Keep watching for more tips to stock in your eBay arsenal.